So we had a problem come into our support line where somebody wanted to add constant width fillets onto a plastic component. This was for stiffening, and it was to sort of make it look like a waffle, sort of lattice arrangement. Okay, but we needed to include draft on this because it was going to be injection molded. So the pull direction was in this direction here, but we also came around a curved face and up at a straight line. So it was how to add the draft on this sort of lattice framework that we were going to go with. Okay, so let's see how we could go about this one then. So initially, the first thing to do is decide where the top of our ribs are going to go. So offset command comes in here. So let's just do 10 mil offset straight across all those parts there. Okay, so this is the start of our system, but this time what we're going to do next is we'll extend this surface out. Let's extend it out just a fairly healthy distance there. Okay, so we have this new sort of wider surface for what's going on. This is going to be the top of our new rib components. Okay, so I need to build a body now with that's going to be for my new ribs here. So for that, we will use the top plane. So we will just quickly sketch on that top plane. Let's just draw a rectangle. I might knock the corners off it just to save a little bit of time later with the line command, not the rectangle command. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how, I'm not going for accuracy with this. This is just to help with initial setup. Okay, so I've got this outline for where that I'm going to use to generate my new ribs. Okay, and I just need them to go up to this surface. So we will just do an extrude. We're going to go up to surface and choose our rib surface, like so. And as always, what I tend to do is I forget that we've got the merge entities switched on here. So let's just go and quickly edit our feature. So normally the merge result is selected. So let's just deselect that. Now I have two separate solid bodies in my part. Okay, so this body here is going to be used to form the ribs for this particular part. And I want for something to be sort of a bit of a diamond lattice arrangement on this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a fill pattern for this one. Okay, so fill pattern, let's go and pick that face. Let's pick that nice long edge. That will do me quite nicely. Okay, and we can go and create like a seed cut. Okay, so this is going to create a bit of a honeycomb. We can have squares, we can have diamonds, or even a polygon. So I could pick a hex and make a nice honeycomb arrangement. Okay, but let's go for a diamond because that's what we were looking for to start with. Okay, now if I go for a 12 mil across the flats diamond and I make this go 15, we can sort of see the arrangement it's going to do. But if we make this angle 45, then hey presto, we've got a nice looking pattern in there that we can use to generate our new ribs. Okay, so with that in place, almost ready to hit OK. But again, let's just make sure I'm only knocking the holes through my rib body. Okay, so this is the new feature added in, and it shows me where all my ribs are. Okay, but I still need this draft angle. So how can we do that? I don't want to just use the draft command because I'd have to use multiple draft commands to get the desired result at the end. So what we're going to do is go back to our surfaces, and I'm just going to use knit surface, and I can pick 1, 2, 3. Okay, surfaces there. Copy them effectively. And so if I hit tab, this is the upper face of my new ribs. Now to turn this into all the faces I need for the actual ribs themselves, I need to extrude this surface. Now I need to be careful here. I either need to hold the Alt key when I select a flat face or select a 3D face. So just to help me, I'm just going to pick the fillet face there to start with. and then I can pick the two flat ones, like so. So that's picked those three faces to extrude. I now need to give it a direction, so let's just pick this face here, and it will then show me all those edges of those faces being extruded. Now it's extruding them up the way, so let's just flip that over, make it go down. Okay, so they're now going downwards. I can see that happening quite happily there. And so let's see if we can add any draft angle to this. Okay, now this is adding draft angle, but it's actually bringing the edges of those ribs closer together. So let's click draft outwards. And we're creating a whole load of surfaces here, so it takes a little moment to generate, but still a lot quicker than doing it all manually. Okay, so it's done that, and so I'm also going to cap the ends here. Like so. Right, with that done, let's hit OK. So now I've got some surface bodies, okay, my original construction body, but then these two new surfaces, this one and this large complicated one underneath, and I've got the tray underneath that, okay. So to finish this off, what I did was to knit these two surfaces together, okay, and we can create a solid from them. I do not want to merge entities. Okay, now there's another little bit of construction geometry to do here, because I want to cut this body so that it only sits inside the tray and not out with the tray. So again, I'm going to use the knit surface command, okay. I could use the offset surface and set it to 0, but knit also works here. So if I right click on that surface, select tangency, it's going to select all the faces on the inside of that tray. So we'll hit OK there. Okay, so let's just hide this solid body away just so we can see what we're going to be working with. So here is the surface body, here is the rib body, and so I can use cut with surface. So let's click on this surface body here. Now the direction of the arrow is the direction of the waste material, and again I'm going to manually make sure it picks on this one here. So hit OK. Now I've got all my ribs in place. So let's bring back the main tray component. Okay, so we've got the tray, we've got our ribs, and so we can now do a nice simple operation here of combine. Now, there's a direct editing tab that's quite useful here for this one. So combine, we're going to add our main shell body with all our new ribs. Okay, and that's me more or less complete, but we do have some extra bodies and surfaces in the background that are maybe a distraction to us later on, or they might upset our mass properties or any other functions there. So I'm going to just tidy the model up with a little delete body, but in fact use keep body, because this is what I want to keep. I'm going to bin everything else. So we hit OK, and now I've just got one solid body here. And if I look at this from the top, you can see we have draft angle on all of those slots perfectly from the top to comply with the mold tool maker's requirements. Okay, so that was a nice little problem that we were given. We were able to solve that there using the surface extrude to generate all those ribs.